Good afternoon, and welcome to Love, a Transformational Series. Let's join Hewlett now as she shares on this topic.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me on this journey of love, a transformational series. I'm excited to have you, and I believe that we are going to impact our world monumentally because the world is in dire need of the expression of love. You and I are here to make a difference, and we will do just that this year. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Our first segment in this series is called Love and Introduction. And I basically wanted us to be on the same page when it came to understanding the love that we will be discussing in this series. Now, have you ever had someone whom you've just met say, "I love you" to you? How did it make you feel? Are you one that's uncomfortable saying, "I love you"? Well, you're not alone. I was, and I am. Now, I say I was because I was one who became very unnerved, very uneasy as someone said, "I love you" to me. I did not know how to respond. I remember, as a matter of fact, when I was around 15 or 16 years old, I was in the kitchen with my mom and my mentor called me, and we were on the phone for quite some time. And at the end of the conversation, she said to me, "I love you, Hewlett." And let me tell you, I did not know how to respond. I remember fumbling at my words, and I remember saying, me too, and quickly hung up the phone. I say I am because there are times that I want to say I love you, and I don't because I don't know how the recipient of what I'm about to say is going to respond. I don't know if they're going to think that I'm not genuine enough, or I'm just saying it to be saying it. So there are times that I do exercise some caution with saying I love you to some people, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it, and I hope you will too. So I was one, as I shared with you, who was uncomfortable. And I believe it's because I didn't hardly hear it out in the world. And when I say the world, the free world outside of my family, I just did not hear people express "I love you" to people outside of, a married couple. But you never really heard "I love you." And so it was uncomfortable for me. And so I want to talk to us today about 6 types of love. And there is one in particular, which is and will be the bedrock to our series as we go forth. Now, and these are all Greek terms. Eros, and we can see the word erotic in there. It's a romantic love between the sexes. It's physical. It pulls on the heartstrings. As a matter of fact, some people go crazy, don't know how to respond to it. They're just besides themselves. Then the next type of love is phileo. And phileo love is really fraternal affection, brotherly love. It's an enjoyment. It's a fondness, a friendship. Psychology calls it philia, a philia love. And that's where you can see the name of the city, Philadelphia, comes from, the city in Pennsylvania. And it's called the city of brotherly love. So we see that we can express ourselves through filial love to others, through friendship and fondness. The next one is storge, and it's basically a family loyalty type of love. It's a familial love that refers to the natural instinctual affection that we have towards our parents and our parents to us. And then we have pragma. Now, pragma is a long-lasting love. And it's a deep understanding, basically, that says, in between married couples, that says, I'm willing to make compromises to help the relationship work over time. So it's going to require me showing some patience and tolerance. So even within the married relationship, there has to be pragma, an understanding, because you want the marriage to last. Another type of love is philautia. And it's a self type of love, and it can be expressed in two ways, and those two ways is the healthy way and the unhealthy way. The unhealthy way is basically associated with narcissism, where one becomes self-obsessed and focus on their personal fame and fortune, and nobody else matters. It's self first, self second, self last. But the healthier version is creates a wider capacity to love. It really sits behind the idea that if you like yourself and feel secure in yourself, you will have plenty of love to give to others. As a matter of fact, Aristotle puts it this way. He basically says, all friendly feelings for others are an extension of a man's feeling for himself. So how I treat you is an extension of how I feel about myself. How you treat others or me is an extension of how you love yourself. But the last love I want to talk to us on and about, and which is the bedrock of this entire series, is agape. And agape is the unconditional love that's not based on feelings. It's selfless. It's basically a stickability love. It means it's a love that you express through a social or a moral sense, and it's an affection, a type of benevolence. And when we look at it in a broader scope, it's really kindness and compassion and generosity and goodwill and charity. And when it comes on to loving God, it's to honor and respect, cherish the relationship. So when you and I say to a perfect stranger, I love you, you're really saying agape. Now, as the relationship evolves, it may turn into the phileo, it may turn into the pragma. When you get married and you're willing to make compromises and make the thing work, and the storge between the love between the children and the parents and extended family members. But when you really look at it, agape is needed in all of the loves that I just disclosed to us. If agape is not at the foundation of those types of love, they won't last. Because agape is not based upon how I feel about you and how you treat me. And I know that's tough for us to sometimes swallow. Agape is selfless. It's unconditional. As a matter of fact, Jesus in Matthew 22:37-40, there was this rich young ruler came to him and said, how can I make it into the kingdom of God? And he basically said, sell all you have and give to the poor and everything. And then there's also where Jesus in Matthew 22:37-40 says, how you show love is by loving God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. And he says, what I just mentioned to you, that's the first commandment. And he said, the first commandment is important, but the second one is just as important. And the second one says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. That basically is unselfishly seek the best and the higher good for others. So he says here that on these two commandments, loving God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, and loving others as yourself is just like unto it. He says on these two commandments, everything else rests. So if we don't love God and if we don't love others, everything else around us will fall apart. And we see it in our society today. There is a lack of love for God, and there's a lack of love for each other. There is a loss that we are experiencing. There is a deficit that we are experiencing. And as such, our world is being impacted negatively. But you and I are here today to make a difference. It starts with us. And we are praying that it will have a ripple effect and affect our families, our community, and our nation, and our world. It's needed. It's needed. So I really appreciate you coming on this journey with us as we begin to dive deeper into agape and how we show it to each other to make a difference in our world. I need you You need me. We are community. We are here for each other. And this love that we're about to showcase on a greater measure is going to be monumental. Folk are going to love being around us. We're going to love being around other people, and it's going to make a difference in our world. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. I'm excited, and I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you, and have a great day.
Were you empowered and moved into action? We hope so. If we don't transform the world, who will? And if not now, when? See you next time, and remember to register for our upcoming Love Thrives Community Conference, June 22nd through 23rd. For more information, go to ilovenow.org. Thanks again for joining us. Bye for now.